Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Business Live. Coming up this evening, National Board for Small-Scale Industries extend application deadline for businesses interested in COVID-19 alleviation program.
Go to the next one.
Also coming up this afternoon, the coalition of affected customers of collapsed banks rejects government's 50% and 5-year bond payment plan. We will be hearing from some customers in the Bono region. And later in the bulletin, contrary to claims of job losses, Bank of Ghana says more than 4,000 jobs were advertised between January and April this year. Stay tuned for the details coming up shortly after the break. Welcome back to the program. The National Board for Small-Scale Industries is extending the application deadline to June 27, 2020 for small businesses interested in the Coronavirus Business Alleviation Program. According to the Executive Director of the NBSSI, Koshi Yanke Aye, the decision was arrived after a consultation with stakeholders. She added that the move will help address technical issues with the application process.
Program has been welcomed by many as a breakthrough support to push many micro, small and medium enterprises into sustainable operations after the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the National Board for Small-Scale Industries, NBSSI, the decision to give additional 6 days for potential applicants to complete the process is to ensure that all sectors of the economy are covered, as well as giving many people the opportunity to benefit from the stimulus package.
Also delayed applications due to challenges or in terms of the processes of getting some of the tax identification numbers. And now that they had those 10, they needed to be able to use that to complete the application forms, which they had started. So the extension is also an opportunity, as I mentioned, for us to mop up all the paper applications that the associations had given to their members. Associations ranging from the Ghana Private Schools, the Ghana National Council of Private Schools, the National Fish Processors and Traders Association, the Indigenous Caterers Association, the Ghana Federation of Urban Poor, who mostly used the paper application and had asked for an extension to support the work that they were doing.
She also disclosed that more than 450,000 applicants have so far been processed through the system.
It's Thursday, 18th June 2020. It's important to note that over 450,000 people had applied. The issue, as I have mentioned, is how possible and how quickly we can get them to complete those application processes to the end. This represents the micro, small, and medium enterprises, and it is very representative of how we define and the data of the MSMEs in this country. 75% of this number have successfully completed their applications. The online portal has also detected over 5,200 fraud alerts, which has made it made it possible for us to give this extension so that we'll be able to address all fraud cases that have come up on the platform. Applicants who registered by the USSD code on the various mobile networks represent 58%. The remaining are 41%, which represent those who have done it directly on the web or are using the paper application.
The deadline is expected to end on the 27th of June this year, after which the disbursement will begin.
Now, businesses were looking for almost 4,000 persons to fill various vacancies at the workplace in the first 4 months of this year, despite the coronavirus pandemic. This was captured in the Bank of Ghana's Real Sector report ending May this year. Aboagye-Wiafe has been going through the report and as follows.
The labor market indicators compiled by the Bank of Ghana showed that advertised jobs in the daily graphic went up significantly for the first 4 months of this year compared to the same period for last year, as it hit 61.7% to reach 1,389. Almost 1,000 jobs were advertised in March. These developments resulted in an uptick in the job advert index to 270.2 in April this year, from 193.6 in March. If you also look at it from March this year to April, the numbers shot up by 40%. According to the Bank of Ghana, these developments resulted in an uptick in its job advert index. This should mean that from January to April this year, a little over 3,700 jobs were advertised. The level of online jobs collated from 10 online jobs advertising platforms was 2,403 in April. But which sectors were these adverts coming from? Well, according to the Bank of Ghana, the services sector accounted for majority of these advertised jobs. Now let's give you the areas that drove this 80% request from the services sector. Finance, insurance, and real estate accounted for a little over 20%, followed by wholesale and the retail trade, that is 12.3%. This data has indeed raised some concerns. Were all these places indeed filled, or they are yet to? Then why are we still witnessing some complaints from even the very skilled personnel in the job industry about a high unemployment in the country? The interesting issue worth considering is why businesses are still recruiting when they claim to be working to downsize their business because of the current economic environment and the shocks coming from the coronavirus.
In more news tonight, the coalition of customers affected by the banking sector collapse has expressed their disappointment in government for what they described as inept handling of their locked-up investment payments. Over 2,000 members in the Bonny region are kicking against government's 50% payments of a 5-year bond plan. Precious Samevo has more in the following report.
You observe the social distancing by at least stepping onto this particular footnote. If you step here, you're required to check in, and these are specialized pens that you...
The coalition of people affected by the banking collapse includes persons whose investments are still locked up in the many defunct microfinance companies such as DKM, Jasta Motors, and the recent bank and financial sector cleanups. Prince Ajay Hayford, like Yaro Abdullahi, Emmanuel Asante, and many others, claims his locked-up investment has rendered him helpless to the extent his sister, who depends on him, has deferred her university education. He, however, hopes the government will ease his burden by paying him in full what he described as his substantial investment.
That's GM Bank. So life is about money. Morning to evening, you have family to take care of. I had a younger sister who was at the university, and then now she has to defer because there's no money to pay the school fees. They all rely on you. I'm very, very, very helpless. Almost like miserable now. At first, you were going up and down, do your normal business as a young man, but now people see you as a kind of a failure in the society just because you did one investment that you thought it would give you interest to make you go higher. The money that I saved, I think that will make life better for me. That's what I want. You should listen to us, give us the money.
At a press conference in Sunyani, the aggrieved customers of the defunct financial institutions with about 2,000 members in the region said the government's new arrangement of a payment plan will worsen their already bad situation. Nicholas Agarena is their spokesperson.
Government is saying they can't pay us. They have issued a 5-year bond for our locked-up deposit. How can you take someone's money for 5 good years and say you won't add any interest to the money? Then after many of us depositors agitated by saying we cannot wait for 5 years and we want our money now, then government tells us to take the 5-year bonds to Ghana Consolidated Bank, who would discount the bond by 50% of the face value amount and pay that to us immediately whilst we forfeit the remaining 50%. Through this action, government has rendered us depositors impotent, useless, and redundant. We have lost our loved ones who died from the shock and pain of losing their lifetime investment. Our wives have deserted us.
He said they are giving the government a 2-week ultimatum to initiate alternative plans to effect payment of their locked-up investment, else they will march to the seat of government and only leave when full payment is done.
We want to use this medium to serve a 2-week ultimatum to government to initiate alternative plans, not the 50% or the 5-year bond, to pay all depositors our monies as soon as possible. We want government to understand that we didn't force them to collapse any bank or financial institutions. If after 2 weeks we don't receive any favorable revised payments from the initial plan by government, we shall besiege the Jubilee House and occupy it till they pay us our money. We shall not leave the Jubilee House until every single one of us is paid. So boy, we have duly served our notice.
For Joy News, Precious Semevo, Sunyani.
Hotels across the country are reopening with new safety protocols amid the coronavirus pandemic. Already, the pandemic has wreaked havoc on the already struggling hospitality sector with over $2 billion lost so far. Charles Ite visited 2 major hotels, the Labadi Beach Hotel and the Kempinski Gold Coast City, to experience firsthand the extent to which the safety protocols have been stepped up in wake of the pandemic.
You observe the social distancing by at least stepping onto this particular footnote. If you step here, you're required to check in, and these are specialized pens that you use in checking in. These are sanitized pens that the hotel has come up with. You could see the label there. Please use a sanitized pen here. Each and every minute after a client uses this pen, you'd have to pick it up, you use a pen, then you drop it into the bin. Here, it gets sanitized once again for reuse. But one particular thing too is that when you've checked in, you've entered into your room and you're checking out, you drop the keys here, it gets sanitized once again. All these in place to ensure the safety of not just clients, but of course, workers here.
Well, Labadi Beach being the institution that it is, health and safety is everything to us.
Renee Vincent Ernst is Managing Director for Labadi Beach Hotel. He tells me much investment has been lost, but they still have no choice than to keep investing in safety protocols.
It's been devastating. This year has been a terrible year.
It's quite an interesting scene here. You could see this is the gallery bar of Kempinski. It's kind of currently out of service, and it's not very much of a serious issue, unusual matter. We do know that currently there is a ban on the operations of bars across the country. I'm here to experience the new safety protocol put in place by managers. The knobs of these elevators are sanitized before and after a client gets on. So I see it's a maximum of 2 people in this lift. Social distancing protocol. Millions of cities have been lost, but hoteliers are braving up for the opportunities ahead. Namesh Nambia is the general manager for the Kempinski Gold Coast City.
Sanitizers, disinfectants, masks, these are the new normals. So these have all played very strongly on to the bottom line of most of the businesses.
Even as hotels and restaurants open for business, the sector still needs to heal from the deep wounds of the coronavirus. It's very interesting to note that even though so many people out there, yourself, myself, could be concerned about our health, major hotels like that of Kempinski are very much confident that with the strict safety protocols and social distancing measures they have in place, safety of clients and that of even their own workers is top-notch. Of course, they're telling us that it's not just about profits, it's also about the health of customers and how far COVID-19 could not disrupt business operations in the short to medium term. I'm Charles Ite for Joy Business.
Has begun moves to intensify safety of its distributors in the country. Chief Executive of Vodafone, Patricia Obonai, led a team to begin the distribution from some major markets in Accra. Speaking to the media, the CEO hinted that Vodafone has taken a bold initiative to ensure that the country wins the fight against the pandemic.
So since the outbreak started in Ghana, Vodafone has been supporting our customers, supporting our employees, and also supporting our society in which we operate. We have done a lot for our students, zero rating our online platforms for them to be able to study. We're giving a lot of data to customers to be able to use on the network. We are doing a lot of network expansion. But just recently as well, the president announced that it is mandatory that everybody should wear a mask. If my business is going to thrive, I need to think about, aside from my employees, the people on the ground who work every day and sell my SIM cards and sell my scratch cards. And so today, together with my team, we are out here to show a token of love. And we are doing this national, across the country. We are giving masks to all our agents, so that they can at least be protected. If something happens to the agent, I don't have a business. It touches his household as well. So this is not just touching the agent, protecting him so that he can protect his family as well. And this is why we came, to show them that it is from the leadership, it's from the top. We want them to respect it. We want them to wear the mask. And this is a token of our love for them and show them the love that we have for all the contribution they've been making to help Vodafone to grow. So that is why I personally came today to do this with the team.
And WhatsApp has launched money transfer. It's available to both ordinary and users of entrepreneurs who can now send money transfers via the social media site. This works by using Facebook Pay, and so far only launched in Brazil. So how does this work? And what does this mean for developing countries like Ghana, currently migrating slowly into the cash-like space? Kobe Sparky in Nkrumah, host of Get Squad, Joy FM, joins me via Zoom for more on this exciting news. Hello, Spiky.
Hi.
Well, WhatsApp is available to, 2 billion people worldwide. How convenient is this going to be?
So, piloting currently in Brazil, and we've already seen the influx of mobile payment systems like the mobile monies and all that going on for a while. And as it stands, it brings convenience and makes businesses, transact cash light rather than they would previously with the fiat currency, like with actual physical cash. So this coming into place, WhatsApp has introduced WhatsApp Business, which allows small businesses and individuals to put their product catalogs online and then interact with people on WhatsApp. So with WhatsApp Business available and WhatsApp Pay, now a feature available in Brazil, soon to roll out everywhere, it would allow people to make payments in WhatsApp. So imagine that you're selling some small products in your house or, to your friends, and you want to take payments, they can actually pay you via WhatsApp. Or if, let's say, we're friends and Sandra is feeling very generous, wants to send Spiky some money, you can just send it to me through WhatsApp. And it's as simple as just sending a photo. You know how you just go and tap on that paper clip and attach a photo? It's the same way. You just attach your bank card, either your Visa card or your MasterCard, and then voila, you send any amount that you're looking to send.
Very interesting. I've always got your back, so I can send you some Momo, just like an emoji anyway. But Let's talk about security. Should we be concerned about cyber crimes as seen with many electronic transactions?
Yes, indeed. As with every technological advancement and transactions like this, you have to be careful. We've seen what's happened with mobile money transactions, where people are, hoodwinked into sending money to the wrong people or accepting to transfer money to the wrong people. Now, this, as much as it's going to be coming from a very big corporation like Facebook, who owns WhatsApp, there's also the worry that people who do not understand, because it's as simple as just going to attach a photo. So if you're going to send money to someone, you have to be sure that you're sending the money to the right person. And I think so from what I've seen, there are ways that this is going to be verified. Contacts, you're going to have biometrics. So to confirm payments, you have to use either your thumbprint or facial recognition or a passcode, a 6-digit passcode to verify transactions. But that doesn't stop people from creating, possible ways to get people to send money to them, even though that's not what they intend to do.
Well, I will be waiting when it comes to Ghana to receive something from you. But while we wait for that one, I know for developing countries like Ghana, which is currently migrating slowly into the cashlight world, do you think that we are ready for this? And especially on social media, the social media bank, are we ready for it?
Yeah, so the plan was, we were expecting this to pilot in India, which is one of the largest user bases of WhatsApp. And we think that they're piloting it in their biggest market area. So we're looking at it starting in India, but as it stands, I think they piloted it in Brazil, which is also, they have a huge user base there. And in emerging markets like Ghana and other countries in Africa, we were sure that it's probably going to come. And would people use it? It's a bit dicey because of its connection to a card, a bank card. You still need a bank card. It's not a wallet on its own. You still need a bank card to be able to do this. So depending on how many people have bank cards, and maybe when they come into our markets, they may tailor it to our markets and say maybe you can connect your mobile money wallet to your WhatsApp account. Now that would make it very convenient for people. So you can just send money through your WhatsApp mobile, like from your mobile money through your WhatsApp to someone. So maybe they may tailor it to our markets.
Well, we wait to see how that goes. But before I let go of you, Twitter is introducing voice notes recording. Do you like the sound of that?
Yes. It sounds interesting because, well, yes, literally sounds interesting. People are used to just, we've been starved on Twitter for a long time, from 140 characters sped up to 280 characters. And now you have voice notes. And, Twitter is the one place where people have wars. And when I say wars, like keyboard warriors are all over Twitter. Everyone has an opinion on Twitter. So the opportunity for people to actually send voice notes, I'm sure we will be hearing the sound of people's displeasures and people's pleasures as time goes on Twitter.